And I'm delighted, it is my honor to be a moderator in the first session, International Conference on Advanced Material and Technology. And today we have a very distinguished speaker. Let me introduce you the speaker. Yeah, the first speaker today is Professor Dr. Evvy Kartini. Assalamualaikum. How are you today, Professor Evvy?
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. So you come from the eastern part from Indonesia.
No,
thank you.
Yeah, Prof. Evvy, thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, the next speaker will be Bapak Insinyur Budi Susanto, MT, Director of Metal Industry, the Ministry of Industry Indonesia. Assalamualaikum, good morning, Pak Budi Susanto. Are you already joined here today with us? Maybe he is now preparing. And the third speaker will be Professor B.V.R. Chowdari, Director of Head Office of IUMRS Singapore. How are you, Professor Chowdari?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again.
Nice
Pleasure.
to meet you again here. We have met a couple times.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you. And next time maybe we can have also a speaker with Professor
Hopefully.
Jason. Yeah, Professor Jason Xu and also Professor Hiroshi Amano. So without further ado, I would like to invite our founder of National Battery Research Institute and also the president of MRS Indonesia and also INSS Indonesia to Professor Evvy Kartini. Professor Evvy, you have time about 10 minutes to deliver your speech.
Thank you.
Yeah, time's yours. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Hairul Hudaya. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, all the participants, the honorable guests, all the speakers. Welcome to the International Conference on Advanced Material and Technology, or ICAMT 2021. So this conference became one of the most important events to discuss the current issue of the advanced material and technology for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals target. The ICAMT 2021 will bring together the experts on advanced material technology from all over the world, the researchers from the university and institution, practitioners from industry, and other stakeholders that are related to this issue. The conference is organized by the National Battery Research Institute in collaboration with the Queen Mary University of London, Material Research Society of Indonesia, International Union of Material Research Society, or IUMRS, and Indonesian Neutron Scattering Society, INSS. The main interest of ICAMT 2021 is focused on advanced material technology, from advanced structural and functional material, nanoscience technology, material processing, nuclear technology application, and advanced computational material simulation. This is an honor for us to have 30 distinguished experts from all over the world. So I would like to start with the presentation, and before that I would like to give a greeting to the past president of the IUMRS, or now the director head office of IUMRS, Professor Dr. Chowdari, and also my colleague, president of Material Society Indonesia, Thailand, Professor Santi, also here. And I would like to greet also to Mr. Budi Susanto, that represent the Ministry of Industry, and also Professor Jixuan from the Material Research Singapore. Professor Amano, that he will send a video of that. Professor Takashi Kamiyama from the Spallation Neutron Source China, Dr. Kaiwisi from Wollongong, Australia, Professor Alan Drew. He will give the opening in the afternoon because the time is different. Professor Rodrigo Matrin, the president of the IUMRS and director of European Academy of Science, Portugal. Professor Sim Giblin from UK, Professor Dr. Sulalit Bandopedye from Norway, Professor Osvaldo, the Vice President of IUMRS from Brazil, Professor Satis Patil from Indian Institute of Science, India, Dr. Addison Tuantranon from Thailand, Material Society Thailand, Professor Poisili from NTU Singapore, Dr. Pakon Opakasit from Material Society Thailand, Dr. Margarita Rusina from Berlin, Dr. Eddie Kirsten from UK, Dr. Christian Nielsen from UK, Dr. Afrianti Samboja from ITB, Dr. Ridwan Jamaluddin from Ministry of Energy Mineral Resources, Professor Dong Fen Sen, the President of ASEAN Nusram Scattering Society from China, and Dr. Kedar from NTU, Professor Niraj Sharma from Australia, Professor Yun Liu, the President of ASEAN Neutron Society from Australia, Professor Kosya Transeko from UK, Professor Nulur from Indonesia, and Professor Yusuf from India, and all the speakers. Would you please start the presentation, okay? So I will brief. So this is the story of the Material Society of Indonesia. It's become the member of the International Union of Material Society in 2017. So one of the goals is to open national, international networking in the field of material research to promote its application in various areas of industry. So responsible to train young researcher and students about the material knowledge and characterization. I would please to inform you that there will be also student paper competition. Next, please. Next. Yes, this is our mapping. If you see that we have reached all the goals, but in 2020, we put that the goal is Indonesian Material Research Institute. But since material is so broad, so we make first the Battery Research Institute. Next, please. Yes, yeah. This is when Material Research Society of Indonesia become the member of the IUMRS. This is in August 27 in Kyoto, Japan. Thank you. Next. Next, please. Yeah. So this is the certificate of membership of the Material Society Indonesia as the full member of the IUMRS. It's given directly by the president at the time, Professor Sowon Lee in Yogyakarta. Next, please. Yeah, so we held the, normally we have the annual conference. This was in Yogyakarta, yeah, attended by 15 countries. Next, please. And we run also we organized the IUMRS in Bali, yeah. It was a great successful, yeah. It is due to pandemic, we cannot hold the offline conference. Next. Yeah, this is the event opening in Bali. Next. Yeah, and then this is the team of the National Battery Research Institute that we are eager to make the a forum which is research on the battery because it's important. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, and then this is the ICAMT last ICAMT and ICMR conference 2019 in Bogor, yeah, opened also by the president of the IUMRS, yes, at the time. Next, please. Yeah, this is we held also the workshop of the lithium-ion battery, and then we had some collaboration with Australia, with UK, and also industry. Next, please. During that time, we also launched the name of the National Battery Research Institute. So the National Battery Research Institute became the spin-off of the Material Research Society. Next, please. Yeah, this is launched in one of the newspaper in Indonesia. Yes, about that launching of the NBRI during the ICAMT conference. Next, please. Yeah. So through the collaboration between Queen Mary and MRS INA, we apply for Global Challenge Research Funds to establish the National Battery Research Institute in 2020. Please, next, please. Yes, that is the idea of the National Battery Research Institute, yeah, together with Queen Mary. Next. Yes, this is the platform. Yeah, the idea is to platform together the academician, research institute, and then to bridge the gap with the industry. And then we hope that we can be independent. Indonesia be independent in energy. That is our goal. Yeah. Next. Yeah. Yeah, this is the history. Yes, that we benchmark to the Faraday also institution in England. Yes, for the NBRI. Next, please. Yeah. So as our vision is to want to help the develop a battery manufacturing industry, local resources. Yes, but we want to gather also the human resources. Indonesia, a lot of bonus of demography, so we have to educate them. Yeah, either in training of material, yes, on energy transition, on sustainable development goals. So because they will become our future. Next, please. Yeah, so the establishment of the NBRI on the 17th of December 2020. So in this week will be the first anniversary of the NBRI. So I become the founder of NBRI, and Professor Alan Drew become the co-founder of NBRI. So it's named as the Center Excellent Innovation on Battery and Renewable Energy. Okay, next please. Next please. Yeah, I have already explained this. Yeah. So we have the future milestone, yes, for this. But the most target is we become independent in energy. Next, please. Okay, this is the team. Yes, the main team of the NBRI. Next. Yeah, we formally we discuss with the former Minister of Research and Technology. Next, please. Yeah, next. So the Minister Research and Technology really support, about the Material Society Indonesia, also the NBRI, yes, that they want to cooperation with the government. Next, please. Okay, next. Yeah, this is the event, and we met also the new head of BRIN, National Research Innovation Agency, Dr. Trihandoko. Yes, for the audience about the Material Society and also the NBRI. Next, please. Yeah, and then today we have this ICAMT, International Conference on Advanced Material Technology. But before this, we have several events about battery school, about the neutron school, about the webinar about upstream, downstream. Yeah, this is all the event that we perform before the conference, the main conference. Next, please. Okay, next. Okay, so this conference attended by 15 countries. Yes, well, I cannot say one by one, but you can see in the agenda. Yeah, it would be pleased for us. Yeah, honor for us, for Indonesia, to have really an expert from all over the world. Next. Yeah, for the paper topics, we have mostly in energy and environment, 25%, and then advanced functional, 15%, polymer, 18%, nanoscience and technology, 15%, material processing and characterization, 50%, and the rest is for computational and nuclear science and technology and other related topic. Next, please. Okay, so as the statistic here, so we have plenary speakers, 16, and keynote speaker, 12, invited speaker, 10, oral contribution, and also attended by 63 institutions. Next. Okay, and then this is the summary of the activity of NBRI and also IUMRS Indonesia for the past years. Yes, so we reached a lot of events we organized, and we reached almost totally a few thousands, and to all over the world. Next. Okay, finally, I would like to thank first to International Union of Material Society, Material Society of Indonesia, AONSA, Oceania Neutron Scattering Association, Indonesia Neutron Scattering Society, Infinity Energy Indonesia, and also we'd like to thank for the sponsor from International Union of Material Society, Survey Indonesia, and MRS Thailand. Thank you for all the coming for today and participating in this conference, and have a good time and enjoy the conference. So I will give back to Dr. Hairul. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Prof. Evvy, for very apa ya, spirit presentation and also motivated presentation and very interesting presentation from you. Your continued support in terms of material science, yeah, and technology is really giving us spirit, yeah, especially for the young researcher in Indonesia and all around the world. And the role of MRS INA and also ENSS and also NBRI in terms of giving or delivering knowledge on, especially on material science and engineering, is really good, really excellent, yeah, because you said more than 6,000 people are engaged within just last year until now, yeah, with focus group discussion, webinar, and etc. This is very good for us. Okay, the next speaker is Pak Insinyur Budi, Dr. Insinyur Budi Susanto. Are you already joined with us?
Okay.
Pak Dr. Budi.
Yeah. Baik, Pak.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Okay, Pak Budi, would you please give? Okay, I will read the speaker biography. Insinyur Budi Susanto obtained his bachelor's degree in industrial engineering at Pasundan University in 2004 and completed a master's degree in industrial engineering and management at Pasundan University in 2006. From his career history, he served as head of technical inspection, Center for Technical Materials and Goods, B4T, in 2007 until 2009. Also head of standardization by Balai Besar for Engineering Material and Goods, B4T, in 2009 until 2016. Head of Center for Engineering Material and Goods, B4T, in 2016 until 2020. And now serving as Director of Metal Industry, Director General of ILMATE, Ministry of Industry, 2020 until now. Pak Budi, it is nice to meet you here again.
Yeah.
So I hope you always healthy.
Yeah.
Please, you have time. Your time,
okay.
Time is yours. Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pak Khairul Hudaya. Long not meet with you and another. Bu Evvy and Mr. Chowdari, Director of Head Office IUMRS Singapore, and Prof. Alan Jidu, and also all honorary speakers, ladies and gentlemen, who's invited in this event. Firstly, I would like to apologize from our DG because formally he will attend, but have another activity with our ministry. So we attend here like it's come back to our society. It is nice to meet you all again. So I will read my from our DG. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's pray and thanks to our God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, for giving us mercies and blessing so we can attend and gather in this place in a good condition and happy situation in the frame of the International Conference on Advanced Material and Technology, or ICAMT 2020, which is organized by National Battery Research Institute, collaboration with Indonesia Neutron Scattering Society and Material Research Society Indonesia. We hope that the implementation of this conference can support the government effort in the program for the acceleration of the development of battery-based electric motor vehicle for road transportation and assist the government in achieving the target of reducing greenhouse gas emission by to 29% from scenario business as usual with their own effort in 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, the automotive-based industry is one of the main sector that has a very large contribution to the national economy. Currently, there are 21 companies engaged in the four-wheel or more or on motor vehicle industry in Indonesia with an investment value about 21.35 trillion rupiah, where production capacity reached to 0.35 million units per year, and about 38,000 direct workers, as well as more than 1.5 million people who work along the automotive industry value chain. In the program of Making Indonesia 4.0, which launched by our President Bapak Joko Widodo on April 4, 2018, the national industry, especially for motor vehicle industry sector, was targeted to become a global player and export hub for motorized vehicle, both for fuel-based vehicle and electric vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Industry also socialized Making Indonesia 4.0, even to the base metal industry sector. The priority strategies are first improving the flow of material flow by strengthening material production in the upstream sector and strengthening industrial structure by formulating comprehensive policies. Second, redesigning industrial zone by building industrial zone roadmap and solving problem in several industrial zones. Third, accommodation and sustainability standard by increasing competitiveness through the Ministry of Industry, sustainability trend as a leading sector development, including electric vehicle, biofuel, and renewable energy. Four, empowering SME through technology. Fifth, build a national digital infrastructure. The Ministry of Industry will build digital network and platform internet and digital infrastructure in the industrial estate. To realize that, our ministry have now the call PD, Pusat Industri Digital Indonesia, have launched by our Ministry Coordinating Economy in this month. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to accelerate the development of battery-based electric vehicle, motor vehicle, the government has established a roadmap until 2030. The government target the production of battery-based electric motor vehicle in 2030 can be reached 600,000 units for 4 or more wheel, and for 2 wheel can be reached up to 2.45 million units. With the production electric vehicle, it is expected to be able to reduce CO2 by emission by 2.7 million ton or for wheel, or more than by 1.1 million ton for 2 wheel. However, until nowadays, there are only 3 domestic companies that have wheel production facilities for battery-based electric vehicle, especially for 4 wheel or more with capacity 1,480 units per year. In order to encourage the industrialization of battery electric vehicle, the government provides various fiscal and non-fiscal incentives for battery-based electric vehicle consume such as imposition of value-added tax on luxury good tariff at 0%, imposition of regional tax for motor vehicle tax, and transfer fee for motor vehicle at a maximum tariff of 10% from the basis. A minimum down payment 0% and low interest rate, discount on electricity connection, especially license plate number, and so on. Meanwhile, battery-based electric vehicle companies can take a various advantage such as tax holiday, mini tax holiday, tax allowance, import duty exception, government bond, import duty, and super tax deduction for research and development activities. Ladies and gentlemen, whom I respect, in order to introduce battery-based electric vehicle, the government has launched a pilot project and made some comprehensive study of battery-based electric motor vehicle, which was carried in Bandung and Bali. And one of institution in Bandung is B.V.R. This activity is a strategic step to create a domestic market, build an electric vehicle ecosystem, as well as promote Evvy ecotourism in Bali, which will support tourism attraction in Bandung, Bali, and Indonesia as a whole. The development of battery-based electric motor vehicle will create a new value chain starting from the raw material production industry, the battery manufacturing industry, the industry that makes battery-based electric vehicle, and the battery recycling industry. This is open up new investment opportunity and can create new job in the country. Currently, there are several new investment that can supply battery raw materials spread across several regions such as Central Sulawesi. There are PT Huai Nickel Cobalt, PT KMB New Energy Material, and North Maluku, PT Halmahera Persada Legend, PT WDB Nickel. This is near with Pak Khairul. And also in Banten, there are PT Smelter Nickel Indonesia, which can produce pure nickel, pure cobalt, Ne cobalt hydroxide, and MHP, respectively, as much as 140,000 tons per year. And also, in addition, there are a new investment that will also produce battery raw material from used battery. There are PT Puking Recycling Technology. Besides that, the government has also formed the Indonesian Battery Company, which is a holding of several state-owned enterprises with integrated industry from upstream to downstream to produce a battery-based electric motor vehicle. In the context of implementing standardization policy for battery product, especially for two-wheel and three-wheel, there I have SNI for electric motor vehicle battery system category L, and also another. Finally, in closing, we express our highest appreciation to the National Battery Research Institute for holding the international conference on advanced material and technology, ICAMT 2021. Hopefully, in conference can contribute to development overall of the value chain on electric motor vehicle while accelerating the industrialization of electric motor vehicle in Indonesia. As you know that now my position now is in Directorate of Logam, steel industry. There are also related with material, and also one of our duties for support the material of battery. There is continues to relation with NBRI, and also all of our in this conference. This is the end of my speech. Finally, there is no euphoria that is not correct. I'm sorry for the wrong word. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Budi, for your presentation. And we are really glad to hear about the progressive effort from our government, especially for preparation of electric vehicle. Yeah, we have already, as you mentioned before, that we have a huge investment from South Korea. Yeah, that the company tried to build a large battery manufacturer for electric vehicle, and this is of course support of the political will, especially from our government. Thank you so much for your presentation, Pak Budi, Susanto. Okay, we are going to the next speaker because we have very limited time here. So before we would like to give a certificate of appreciation to Pak Budi. Yeah, this appreciation is awarded to Institute Budi Susanto as distinguished opening remark in International Conference on Advanced Material and Technology on December 14 until 16, 2021. Signed by Professor Evvy and also Professor Alan Drew. Yeah, this is for you. Thank you so much, Pak Budi. Yeah, we are going to the next speaker. Professor B.V.R. Chowdari, Director of Head Office of IUMRS Singapore. He will deliver opening remark. Let me brief introduce him. You can Google anyway, who is Professor Chowdari with very distinguished achievement. Professor Chowdari is a president of Material Research Society MRS Singapore. Prof. Chowdari has established research laboratory first of its kind in NUS and the region for carrying out research on synthesis and characterization of material for potential application in solid-state batteries. The laboratory is instrumental in developing several research groups in Singapore and the region. His current research interests are in the area of material science, specializing in synthesis of material using B.V.R method, characterizing them by a variety of techniques and finding application in energy storage device, more specifically lithium-ion battery. Professor Chowdari, time's yours, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I hope all of you can see me and hear me. This is the problem with the virtual conference. Sometimes we have technical issues. But in any case, hoping that all of you are able to hear me and see me, let me begin by addressing to each and every one of you, distinguished guests, President of the MRS Indonesia, Professor Evvy Kartini, members of the Conference Organizing Committee and MRS Indonesia's Management Committee, fellow conference participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and honor in joining the opening of the International Conference on Advanced Materials and Technologies 2021, organized by the National Battery Institute together with MRS Indonesia and others. Thanks to Professor Evvy Kartini and other members of the organizing committee for inviting me to join this momentous occasion. Having participated in most of the conferences organized by the National Battery Institute and MRS Indonesia, including IUMRS ICA 2018, I am pleased to see the progress made by the society in the service of materials research community. All of us must be proud of the achievements of MRS Indonesia in putting Indonesia on the world map of material science. Hearty congratulations to Professor Evvy Kartini and all others who made it possible. I take this opportunity to update you with some of the recent developments at MRS Singapore and IUMRS and some of the challenges we are currently facing due to COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure MRS Indonesia must be facing similar challenges, and sharing the experience of each other could be of great benefit and comfort. With the objective of strengthening the regional cooperation, MRS Singapore made agreement with the National University of Singapore and Nanyang Technological University for hosting early career material science and engineering researchers, preferably from the Asian region. Although a few candidates were selected, but none of them could take up the offer due to the ongoing international travel restrictions, which disrupted all our plans. I take this opportunity to invite all young material science researchers from Indonesia for carrying out collaborative research with Singapore scientists. The 11th edition of the International Conference on Materials for Advanced Technologies series was scheduled for June 2021. Because of the uncertain situation for the last 2 years about the in-person participation of the conference, it is now postponed to June 2023. This resulted in significant financial losses. As a follow-up of the first virtual conference on materials for humanity held this year, MRS Singapore will be organizing the second edition of this series, MH22, in September 2022 in hybrid mode. You are most welcome to join both MH22 and ICAMT 2023. As some of you may know, Professor Evvy Kartini and others from MRS Indonesia are playing important role in IUMRS by serving on different commissions. I am hoping for the members of MRS Indonesia to take even greater responsibilities of IUMRS in near future. Of course, I'm delighted to see a number of my colleagues from MRS Singapore, Professor Lee Pui Si, Professor Jason Xu Yishwan, and Professor Kedar, and IUMRS leaders, Professor Rodrigo Martins, President, and Professor Osvaldo Oliveira, President-elect. They are participating in this conference. This clearly stands as a testimony for the support from both MRS Singapore and IUMRS towards MRS Indonesia and its activities. Before I conclude, I would like to share with you some food for thought. Often, every MRS management committee aims to promote material science research among the next generation and work towards getting better funding for materials research. Of course, the approach for this is not straightforward and it comes with big challenges. The first task in this direction is to bring greater awareness of science, including material science, among common public, governments, and policymakers by emphasizing that the science is the basis of every technology and application. In this context, the recent adoption of the UNESCO proclamation of the year 2022 as the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development by UN General Assembly speaks volumes about this. Considering the less optimistic outlook of government funding, promoting or aiming for public funding for science research is of great importance for any MRS. Quoting the example of COVID vaccine access, in which countries who had built a robust science research ecosystem over many years are the ones who are calling the shots, would be useful to encourage public funding. STEM education is another area where different MRSs can contribute. The S and M in this acronym points directly to sciences. STEM is interesting because it easily allows for interdisciplinary at school level. Material science being a good example for interdisciplinary research, where different disciplines of science, engineering, and technology come together. It would be interesting for MRS to collaborate with schools and education agencies in developing special programs of STEM. Advocating for global partnerships on science is one another area where MRSs can contribute. Unlike earlier years, science is no longer driven by lone figures, but has become a team effort that spans disciplines, institutions, and continents. It often relies on data, which is so vast that human brains cannot hope to hold or analyze them all. It increasingly confronts issues like climate heating and the need for a carbon neutral economy to epidemics and water security. Promoting the importance of interdisciplinary nature of science and its role in achieving sustainable development goals, which is the focus of this conference, could be one another task MRSs can undertake. Artificial intelligence is one which is of immediate resonance, as it was born when mathematics and theoretical physics joined hands with engineering. Another one is biotechnology, where biology and chemistry worked with industry and automation. Thinking of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 2 on health refers to vaccines, drugs, medical physics, molecular biology, etc. SDG 3 on food security refers to genetics and soil science, water contamination, photosynthetic technologies, etc. SDG 13 and 15 on ecosystem restoration and climate change refers to mathematical modeling and studying the properties of plants, insects, etc. SDG 14 on oceans refers to physical oceanography, chemical analysis of pollutants, etc. Getting funding for research is crucial. Of course, the private sector does a huge amount of science, but it is not shared or publicized enough. What is shared is the products and services that come out of the science world. So when one asks for the sponsorship from these companies, one must be clear that we want them to support science. If we can bring many private companies to support science trainings or exchange or placements, then we would have raised the visibility of science very high. All MRSs need to find advocates, those who are basic scientists, but who have benefited from exchanges of placements in companies and who could be our links to these companies. Thinking more specifically of material science, science of membranes, which intersects with several UN sustainability goals, including Goal 6, clean water and sanitation, Goal 7, affordable and clean energy, Goal 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and Goal 12, responsible consumption and production, and cover polymer, ceramic, metal, and bio-inspired membranes. Putting forward these few thoughts at your disposal for your consideration, I wish you all a fruitful and rewarding conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Chowdari, for very motivating speech. Yeah, your message is really clear for us, especially maybe here to close. I would like to cite some my favorite ancient proverbs. Yeah, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I think this is the message that Professor Chowdari want to say to us. So, and this conference, International Conference of Advanced Material and Technology, is actually the way to open further collaborations for us, yeah, for among about 15 participant countries. So thanks so much again, Professor Chowdari. Maybe
Thank
we
you.
can